EDU TV million eyes 48 countries. EDU TV million eyes 48 countries.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished educators and esteemed viewers, welcome to another enlightening episode of EDU TV. It's a matter of principles, where we illuminate the path to educational excellence with a million eyes watching. Today, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce our esteemed guest, Mrs. Arti Chopra, the principal of Amity International School Sector 46, Gurugram, India. Mrs. Arti Chopra is not just a name in education. She's a beacon of inspiration and innovation. Over 28 years of dedicated service to the field, she has epitomized excellence in every role she has undertaken. As a teacher, mentor, trainer, planner, skill developer, and tireless advocate for children's rights. And alumnus of the prestigious Lady Shri Ram College of Delhi University with a master's degree in economics and business administration. Mrs. Chopra's journey in education has been illustrious, from leading institutions like Bal Bharati Public School to Savai Man Singh Vidyalaya and Lawrence School, Lavdale. She has left an indelible mark for excellence wherever she has tread. As a principal of Amity International School Sector 46, Gurugram, over 19 years, Mrs. Chopra has been a trailblazer in integrating technology with education, driving academic excellence and fostering holistic development. Her accolades from Microsoft, British Council, and leading universities stand as a testament for her relentless pursuit of educational innovation. Certified in strategic leadership management by the prestigious IIMS Ahmedabad, and actively involved in various educational bodies like the Core Committee of SCERT Haryana, and as a CBSE resource person. Mrs. Chopra continues to inspire and train educators for all-around development of children. Today's discussion holds special significance as we delve into the role of entrance exams in colleges, college admissions, and crucial aspect of evaluation and assessment in education. And to guide us through this insightful conversation, we are honored to have with us Mrs. Shalini Rawat, Vice Principal of Olive International School, Doha, Qatar. A dynamic educator with a fresh perspective, Ms. Arti Chopra holds a special place in our hearts as she inaugurated EDU TV 6 years ago at Delhi Public School, Gurugram, igniting a journey of educational enlightenment that continues to inspire us all. Over to our young host, Mrs. Shalini Rawat from Doha, Qatar, who will lead us through this engaging discussion. Mrs. Rawat, the stage is yours.
Thank you.
EDU TV with 1 million eyeballs across the globe.
Connecting schools, universities, industries, and corporate houses.
Thank you, Pranav, and thank you to EDU TV with over 1 million viewers. That's an achievement. Thank you, Pranav, for bringing this platform to all the educators. So, a hearty welcome to Mrs. Arti. And when Pranav was talking about you, I was feeling, wow, what a pleasure to meet an eminent personality today. So, ma'am, to begin with, I wanted to know, since you have, through this long experience and fruitful journey of being an educator, mentor, and recipient of CBSE award. So how do you see the entrance coaching that goes in the school, and now with the pressure of CUET also? So how do you feel that the entrance exam affect the stress levels and the overall well-being of students? Would you suggest any strategies that school and families can implement to help their children to cope with this stress? Because whatever we say, ultimately marks matter.
Absolutely. Thank you. First of all, thanks to EDU TV and wonderful Mr. Guha. We've been associated, and it's a pleasure today to stand on this platform and to speak. And Shalini, you beautifully you've introduced, and very valid question you've asked. Students' preparation for entrance exam has taken, a toll on their life these days. They are really, really stressed because they have got to work in two different directions. The CBSE exam where they want to excel, that has been their domain. And now to compete further and move into the competitive world, they need to prove themselves again. So it is not easy for every child, especially an average child, to consolidate both. Though the good schools of today, like ours, we are trying to consolidate, in the sense we are trying to bring in all the competitive edge type of priorities and merging it, integrating it with the CBSE curriculum wherever possible. Like CUET entrance questions are merged with the topics from where they have originated. Similarly, for IIT and for NEET entrance exams, some of the questions, they are merged as the higher challenging questions in the CBSE preparation as well. But the students, when they have to compete, they need to have organized pattern of study for competitive exams. This has really increased the stress level of children, and it has really made it very tough for the parents also to make the child who's barely 16, 17 to be progressive, to be organized, not to waste time. And then in today's world, there are so many distractions, mobiles, the gadgets, as well as social media. It's very hard for an average child to perform. So what is happening is there are two things. Like you asked me, what should an average parent do? So there are two things. One is the things which are in our control, and the other is the things which are not in our control and which are in the control of policymakers. Definitely, I feel the policymakers should give it a rethought, though we as educators have given it to them in writing, that if an element of, some portion of the school's performance could also be added, to give an advantage to the child in the entrance exam. Whatever percentage that the government and the other policymakers may deem fit, that will make, that will give the importance to the schools and the kind of culture and as well as the expertise that the schools have today in the CBSE subjects. And it will help the students to give equal importance to competitions as well as to CBSE exams. Now, these are the things which are not in our control. Coming to the other part, that what is it that the parents and students and the teachers, all stakeholders, could do together to make the life of children much easier? And that is that we should be giving them additional tips per topic, so that the students can simultaneously prepare themselves for the competitions. And this is going to benefit them in having a competitive edge. But at least the smart ones will be able to manage, but not everyone. And certain competitive exams are, the kinds where the children are able to perform. There is a second list that keeps coming, so there is always hope for them. So I would say that making a good, preparing the students with good environment in the families, having the amicable decision within the families to minimize the outside provocations, which the parents can easily control. Also, letting the children visit social media for a limited span of time, limiting their gadgets, explaining to them that, look, CBSE exam is pen and paper exam only. So no chat GPT or Wi-Fi or, networking is going to help you. So might as well, learn to practice writing the CBSE type of questions, practice more of MCQ, reasoning assertion based questions, and then make a type of rigorous schedule for them, lot of motivational workshops for them, giving equal importance to physical health as well as mental health of the child. because ever since the children came back from COVID, we do see some instances here and there of in some children where they are still emotionally, they need hand holding. So basically, it has got to do with the support that the parents need to be up and about. I tell a lot of my parents that at least one of you should, keep yourself absolutely free for the child and give a lot of time to the child. The teachers are definitely integrating those types of questions along with while they're teaching the lessons. And the students also need to be very driven, like summer vacations or winter vacations. Whenever they get time, they can be focused and prepare themselves intensively for these entrance exams. But eventually, I think it has to do with the policy. We need to either make it 40-60 or 50-50 so that some weightage of the school exams should be there in the entrance.
Thank you. I totally agree with that insight, because even I feel that NEP has come into place and many new doors they have opened to switch over from one subject to the other. But since you advocate holistic approach to education, and I would say that these entrance exams provide a fair judgment also of their abilities, and regardless of their only the IQ, because even through these entrance tests, we are just testing their IQ. We are not testing, when we talk of holistic approach to education, we are looking at them as a complete personality, their socio-emotional behavior, their physical and mental well-being, and even their creative bent. All those 21st century skills come into place. So I feel that there is a lot of scope, as you mentioned. So how do we place that, in your opinion, how that landscape of this total this entrance test and then getting into the college? It should be a smooth transition, according to me, because we have been mothers also and teachers also, and now in the leadership role also. So I feel it is a lot of task for the child, because we are totally bombarding them all the time with knowledge. Do this, do that. But where is the time? How fair it is when we say there has to be a balance in curricular and extracurricular. But when after 12th, the ground reality is totally different. Even getting into a college, you have to go through an entrance exam. So how fair it is, according to you?
Yeah. See, first of all, giving fair chance to each and every child to compete for college entrance is a good idea. The idea when it originated that only a few people who had high percentage scores, they could get into colleges, and then government thought of once again providing a platform to the children to appear for the entrance. So the thought was nice, but the way it got, adapted, it will take some more time for everyone to take this in the forward direction. National education policy talks about competency-based learning. So there is a lot of emphasis that the teachers are giving back in the classrooms on learning outcomes, the complete learning cycle, having a very strong learning outcome in the classroom, keeping their teaching methodology based on the learning outcomes, and then even the assessments to be based on the learning outcomes. So this is helping, but it is too, early right now to get its full impact right up to the grassroots level. So it is going to take some more time. How fair it is for colleges? So I think the way now it is a time of flexibility. Flexibility has come in our national education policy as well. So I was just wondering, why can't we have the flexibility given to the children that those who have high score and they are able to step into the colleges? I'm talking about university entrance, university admissions. With their score, if they're able to take admission, why do they need to write once again? Whereas those who could not get a very significant high percentage, maybe they can take a chance to, appear for entrance. So the flexibility in admissions could be there, that either you get a high percentage or you compete right now what is happening is every child is asked to compete. It closes the door for them to excel in CBSE, and it makes it mandatory for them to appear for the entrance exams for university and other exams, So I feel, yes, the thought of giving fair, we're talking about equity as well as inclusivity. Equity definitely is taken care of, but at the same time, we are not able to have justice with the child who's achieved once. How many times the child has to prove himself or herself? So I think there has to be some consideration. Only then the national education policy would be taken in the right spirits.
Yeah, and also I would comment here that the reliability of these entrance tests, it is not an indicator of child's total potential. It's not a fair judgment that if the child has not done fairly well in the entrance or couldn't get through that, or vice versa, if the child has done fairly well, he will be very good in the college also. So do you think there could be some other alternative methods that we can just brainstorm that would be more effective?
I feel, like when we talk about competency-based education, which is the new model of education now in India as well, we talk about three things. One is knowledge sector, the other is skill, and the third is behavior. Whereas in the entrance exam, we are only checking the knowledge component. We are not checking the skills, whether the child is suitable for a particular kind of, career, nor are we checking the child's behavior or attitude. So if we really want to do justice with our education pattern, then maybe there could be a practical type of skill test which could be added in the entrance exam, along with giving them the choice of either taking their admission based on their CBSE score or competing. So if this choice is given, then children will be much happier. And those whose practical hands-on, because we're doing a lot of hands-on experiential learning, as part of national education policy, we're doing a lot of integration of art and, competency-based assessments. So I think if we have a skill-based thing as well included, it will reach out to many more and they will be more successful and happier.
I believe so. And I also feel that there should be some assessment tool given to us to check to quantify attitudes and values also, and skills also, not because it is very subjective when they have given in the HPC also. It is very subjective based on the observation of the teacher, but we cannot quantify it. At our school, at Olive International School, we are trying. So we have divided these student learning outcomes into 12 outcomes. Academic competencies, 3 broad categories: academic competencies, then life skills, and third one is attitudes and values. So academic competencies will cater to innovation, problem solving, critical thinking, and all that. Life skills have communicative skills and all that. We have placed in, tried it past 3 years. We are trying it, and this year again there is an improvement. So we focus more on the journey, the implementation part, the experiential learning, and not too much focused on the score of it or the end goal, because it is so gradual. So now coming back to what you said, I also would like to understand and your thoughts about it, that of course we pressurize our children to get good marks and then again prepare for competitive exams. But are we knowingly also, I would say, we are these coaching institute, these tutoring integrated classes, they are mushrooming. It's become business, whether we talk of any online, it's edtech has become, after this COVID, it has taken so much toll on the children and parents, and they get carried away. So somewhere I feel the school is there supporting 24/7. Tutor will only teach the content. So it is really a food for the thought. And at some point as a school, you have to support or stand by the parent if they come and demand and they say, my child wants to go for tuitions for so and so. So we feel Are we not doing enough? Okay, the child is not doing well in a subject, the support is also remedial, diagnostic test, everything is in place. But still, these coaching centers are mushrooming, and at some point of time, even I have heard parents commenting that because they are paying so much to the tutor, eventually they get marks. It's a universal story. Few parents would always comment on that, and I also feel that they pay through their noses. It is very difficult to pay the fee hike you cannot have, but when it comes to the coaching center, the fee goes beyond 1 lakh also. How fair it is?
Well, I tell my parents that you should be taking interest in the child's development instead
Yeah.
of, buying time from another person who would just be doing it for a particular span of time and then moving on. So you are the best person. Some of them said we are not the subject experts, but then just sitting with the child and going through what
True.
the child is reading, rereading it, to record it in your voice and send it to the child, let the child hear it, because some of them are auditory learners, they may not be visual learners.
True.
So there are so many things that parents can do. So maybe I think, yeah, it's like a dream. Like maybe we can start educating the parents as
Yes.
well as the child progresses from maybe pre-primary to primary. They need some kind of education. From primary to middle, they also need to write an essay or compete or give some kind of a test so that they are eligible. Some documents can be shared with them that they browse through so that they upgrade their skills. Because I do see parents of teenagers dealing with them as if they were young toddlers. So, I really have to stop them and tell them, listen, they are now, young adults. You need to treat them well. You can't be expecting them to be blindly following you, at this age. So you have to be friendly and you need to negotiate with them, whatever your thoughts are, and you need to step into their world. What is the world that they are seeing, and talk in the language that they want to listen to. You can't be talking in the language that, in our days, this used to happen. They cannot, fathom all these things. So, as you said, yes, we need to understand the children, and maybe their entrance exams need to be redefined and should be made, modulated as per the changing times. So, yeah.
And I feel as a school, we can partner with them. Like, if we know the potential of the child in any subject or in any skill, if they are good at something, we can polish and keep updating the parent also, that please hone that skill in the child. And so that after the child has completed 16 years, the child doesn't have to look left and right. He knows exactly where I have to go. And with the advent of so many applied courses, I think now with the choices given, this rat race to compete through the entrance test will stop somewhere, will reduce, not stop, but at least it will reduce, because now they will have more choices. We are not just creating doctors and engineers. There are other professions that are very well chosen and liked, and they are doing very well in those fields. So I think that will bring in change in the total fabric.
Yeah, so it's
How we
basically,
treat our pre-university
only
children.
those, mhm, those parents who don't want to work hard with them, that look for easy escapes in the form of dummy schools where they don't have to every day pack their tiffins and go through
Yeah.
ironing the uniform. So I think it's got to do with their attitudes, and eventually I have so many such cases being discussed in my office when there is a fallout, when the children get depressed because their emotional bonds
Yes.
and the social bonds really are very weak in such type of organizations. So a normal school is part of a child's extended childhood. I tell my parents, don't take
Very
away
true.
2 years from their life. Let them enjoy and live with the school's secured walls, and gradually, move up into the college admission part. So it is, I think, parents need education and they really need it. I think we need to have some kind of policy for them too.
We can share our expectations with them. We always do that. So coming towards the end of it, I would, before we close the session, I would like to understand your thoughts on what is going to be the future of entrance exams. Now, after COVID, we know this online hybrid mode and alternative credential system. Now we will have credit system in place.
Yes.
They are already working on it. It'll be implemented. So how do we see this, how the traditional entrance exam could undergo? Any thoughts on that? Any intuition on that?
I feel once a credit framework gets introduced, so then the children who are more skill based and they are already doing a lot of things, they will get their parallel matches if they want to study abroad or any other organizations. The competitive exams will definitely get slightly less importance, and parents will have more avenues to explore. And the only thing is the industry has to come forward, the academia industry, they need to work it out together to give, on real-time experiences in the term of internships to the children so that their skill building is done in a nice manner. But yes, that is something I'm looking forward to, that how the credits, when we start calculating, and a lot of things are already in the press that we are reading. It's pretty interesting. So this will, I guess, balance it out, the situation. Maybe this was the thought in the mind that they couldn't implement it all together. Everything takes its own time. So once the credits get introduced, the competitive exams probably, I can't say that it will take less importance, but probably, maybe children will have more options to explore, more flexibility.
That's absolutely correct. And also it will be a shift. See, assessment will be there, but the tools will change and their mechanism might change. Assessment is always there. So that was such an interesting sharing of thoughts. I really appreciate your time and it was interesting. Thank you, Pranav.
Thank you. Yeah,
EDU
I
TV.
thoroughly enjoyed.
I think thanks to both of you, Mrs. Chopra and Mrs. Rawat. So I'll formally also thank. Ladies and gentlemen, a heartfelt thank to our esteemed guests, Mrs. Arti Chopra and Mrs. Shalini Rawat. Your expertise and insights have enriched today's discussion on educational excellence. Your dedication to nurturing the next generation of leader is truly inspiring. Thank you, both of you, ma'am. Thank you, Arti ma'am and Arti ma'am and Shalini ma'am. There is a standing invitation for both of you for lunch or dinner in NCR or in Doha, Qatar. Thank you. Thank you.
Come over.
All right.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye,
Shalini. Thank you. Bye-bye.
EDU TV with 1 million eyeballs across the globe.
Connecting schools, universities, industries, and corporate houses.